What's up, self-healers? Lisa Lightfeather here. Welcome to my channel, Closing the Gap. We make a conscious effort to meet you where you're at on your healing and your spiritual journey. Today I want to come on, invite you on my sunrise walk and speak about the topic of the empath being assigned teams at the time of birth. Now, mind you, I'm looking at this from a spiritual perspective, okay? So this is part of the spiritual journey, right? So when you're born, when you first take your first breath, you have teams assigned to you. You have ancestors and spirit guides that are assigned to you to protect you on your journey. Now, this team of people or this team of spirits that are protecting you on your journey, they don't overstep their boundaries, right? Now, you do have one spirit guide that will overstep his or her boundary. Now, the reason that one spirit guide has been authorized to overstep his or her boundary is because this is the spirit guide that steps in when you are about to abort the mission by making a mistake that could end your life before the contract is up. So on the empath's journey, the empath has dark shadows just like the narcissist has. The difference between the dark shadows of an empath is that the empath does the shadow work and they know their darkness. So a person who does not know their darkness is a person who is dangerous, right? They haven't tapped into their own darkness. Now, as human beings, we have both. We have light and we have dark. The empath is not an innocent little angel. The empath themselves can be quite dangerous, right? This is why it's important for the empath to do their shadow work. So once the empath taps into their shadow work, their darkness begins to come up. Now, what the empath has to do with this darkness is they have to integrate it with their light. The narcissist doesn't have this capacity. The narcissist may know their darkness, but they walk in it. And that's the distinct difference between the narcissist and the empath, is that the narcissist walks in their darkness. The empath integrates their darkness. Now, the empath integrates their darkness and they know what they have the capacity to be, but they make a conscious choice to not be that. That's part of the healing journey. But while the empath is learning how to integrate their darkness, right? This is after the shadow has been tapped into, the shadow has come to the surface. The empath is not oblivious to their own darkness. They're not playing the victim. They're not woe is me anymore. They know what they have the capacity to be. And so they're integrating the shadow. Now, this is one of the reasons that people don't do shadow work, because when the shadow starts coming up, it is a beast. It's a monster. And it's easier to just say, that's who I am, and walk in that darkness, right? But the empath that's on a healing journey, they can't allow themselves to walk in that darkness. They can know it. They can know what they have the capacity to be. They can know what they have the capacity to become, but they cannot walk in it. And so they spend their life integrating that darkness and walking in their light, right? A narcissist can tell an empath that knows their darkness, right? Some people refer to this empath as a supernova empath. They refer to this empath as a Heyoka empath, or they just refer to him as a super empath. You know, all these different names and stuff. But really, all it is an empath who has done the work and they are healing. They're constantly in the process of healing. Now, when this darkness comes up, the empath may step into it You know, they're fed up, they're tired, repressed anger. That anger may come out. That's the shadow. It may come out. And when the repressed anger comes out, it's like a volcano exploding. And the empath may find themselves doing something out of character, like hurting someone else or choking someone out, or, you know, that split second, it's like, pow, oh my God, what happened? And then the empath comes back to themselves, but by that time, they done hurt somebody, right? So this is why it's important for the empath to continuously integrate the shadow, to see the shadow, to know that you have the capacity to be or do something, but choosing a conscious choice to walk in the light. So when the empath is in that phase where the shadow is coming up, and they've been repressing for so long, and now the shadow is on the surface, and the empath is trying to figure out how to integrate this shadow. That one spirit guide that you have that is authorized, this is so, I want this stick. Isn't that a pretty stick? I could do something with that. Anyways, that shadow, that one spirit guide who is authorized to step in without your permission is right there next to you, because they know that you are at a fragile juncture or a fragile apex of your healing, where you could go one way or the other. And when I say one way or the other, I don't mean becoming a narcissist, but I do mean you're in danger of aborting mission in some way. You're in danger of aborting the mission. You're in danger of ending the contract early. So you do have that one spirit guide that will step in at the time of you aborting the mission. Let's just say the empath is still working with their shadow, which we always are working with our shadow. It never quits. But the empath is in the beginning stages of working with their shadow, and they are doing things like maybe self-medicating, or let me walk this way, a lot of cars that way. Maybe they're self-medicating, or they're doing something stupid. Let's say they're drinking and driving or something. Or they're on their motorcycle going 100 miles an hour, trying to release that stuck energy, trying to feel something outside of pain, right? And they crash the motorcycle. Well, that one guide who is authorized to step in without your permission may step in and be the one that stops your head from hitting the concrete, right? A lot of times when people have near-death experiences, they'll say that someone appeared, that some angel appeared, or someone came and walked them through a tunnel and blah, blah, blah. That is that guide that does not need permission to step in. Now, your other guides, you need to call on them. I call on my ancestors from the north, the south, the east, the west, above, below, within, without. Those who are for me and not against me. Now, why would one say those who are for me and not against me? Because just like you have people against you in this 3D realm, you have spirits against you in the spirit realm. Now, what this spiritual warfare is, these are entities, and entities are real. It's not some hocus pocus, some made up something. These entities are real. So you have entities that are for you and entities that are against you, or spirit guides that are for you and entities that are against you. They're on opposite teams. The earth realm is referred to as the earth school. We're here to learn. And it is the most dense realm. It is the heaviest realm. This meat suit that we walk around in is the heaviest of them all. Right? You see people have near-death experiences. They go over there and they say it was so light there. It was so peaceful there. It was so calm there. But then sometimes the person knows that they have a mission to come back to, you know? The reason it's important to do the shadow work as an empath is because the empath can inadvertently abort the mission by being stressed out, causing certain things like aneurysms, heart attacks, stuff like that. You got to do your shadow work, because the shadow, it festers and it grows. It's like a cancer that grows and grows and grows if you don't recognize it, right? It's like a child that's having a temper tantrum, and they're getting bigger and bigger and bigger and darker and darker and darker, and finally they just snap. So the empath has to do the shadow work. Some darkness comes up that you would not believe that you have the capacity to do or be. And so that's that one God that comes and helps you along that journey. Now, your spirit guides come when you call them, those who are for you and not against you. And they will walk with you on your journey, but you have to call on them. They don't just, they sit back and watch you and they're bored. They're like, is she going to ask for help, or is he going to ask for help? I see that he's in over his head, but is he going to ask for help? Right. So you also have these dark entities that are on the opposite team. These dark entities are assigned to abort your mission, assigned to make sure you never see yourself. Yeah? But these entities, your spirit guides don't need a host. They act and they move alone. The entities need a host. And so they attach themselves to somebody's 3D body. And then that 3D body comes against you. Now, unless your contract is up, right? You signed up for it. Unless your contract is up and you signed up for the fact that one of those entities that's using that host to come against you can do something to harm you, right? Your contract's up, so now they have permission to do something to harm you. But as long as your contract is open and you are still on your journey, you're still doing the work, you're still working out the small print in your contract, right? That entity can get close to you, but it can't touch you. The entity can get close to you and it can harm you as a child, or harm you as a domestic violence victim, or harm you as a SA victim. It can do those things, but as the empath does their shadow work and they know themselves, the empath becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. Just like that entity grows and it feels like it gets stronger and stronger and stronger, what do you think's happening? You think that the empath is not growing? You think the empath is not getting stronger? You think the empath is not tapping into their gifts stronger and stronger and stronger? You scared me. So you think the empath is not, excuse me, the guy came up behind me. I didn't see him till the last minute. You think the empath is not growing in their gifts? The empath is growing in their gifts just as the narcissist is growing in theirs. So what happens is that entity that uses other people as a host gets stronger and stronger. And so they try to get closer and closer. This is why it's important for the empath to do their shadow work and for the empath to grow. Because if the empath just stays in the victim mode and, oh, poor me, and my whole family's against me and everybody's against me, they're going to be demolished on a daily basis. And it doesn't take much of the other entity to do that. So as you grow and as you get stronger, the entities on the opposite team, they send stronger and stronger entities. And they use other people's body as a host. But because you're doing the work, right, you're protected. Now, what you have to do, you have to call on your ancestors. Now, that one spirit guide who comes in at the last minute and saves you from yourself, may protect you from that entity that's grown and grown and grown on the narcissistic side, right? May come in and protect you at the last minute. But you have a whole team of spirit guides who are just waiting for you to call. They're sitting back waiting on you to call. And so you call on those spirit guides to protect you in your coming and your going, right? And they're there for you, but they are waiting on you. They're just simply waiting on you to call them. This is spiritual warfare in this 3D realm, and we have to pass the test, right? We have to be the ones to do the work, to keep walking even when we're afraid, to keep working even when we're tired, to look in the mirror and see ourselves, the darkness, the ugliness. Now, let me tell you how you can handle that darkness and ugliness. The empath can handle that darkness and ugliness by simply stating something such as this. Because you've been here many, many times. You've been here. You've lived many, many lives here. So they can simply state something such as, I may have been that. I see the shadow. I may have been that in a previous life, many lifetimes before this one. Or I may carry the energy from my ancestors from previous lives and this one. But in this lifetime, I see it. I see the darkness. I'm not rejecting it. I see you. But in this lifetime, I choose to love you. I choose love. I choose healing. Yeah? And so, in seeing the darkness does not make you that. A lot of empaths on a healing journey in this 3D realm, they're seeing darkness from many, many generations ago, many, many lifetimes ago. And they've been assigned to clear that energy. This is not easy work. This is the reason that people don't do it. It's not easy work. So you see the darkness and you simply recognize it. Don't put it away, hide it in the corner, say, oh no, God, that's not me. Because all it does is it goes in that corner and it hides and it grows. And then it comes out at inopportune times. Or it just builds and builds and builds until it finally explodes. And then that's when the spirit guide who doesn't need you to call, they have the authorization to cross boundaries. That's when they have to show up and save you once again. So remember, empaths, that you have a whole team. Yes, you have people coming against you because they are being used as a host from the opposite team. The opposite team cannot move without a 3D body. Your spirit team does not need a 3D body to move. And that's how that goes. Your spirit team may periodically use a 3D body to move. When that person has come to hold your hand on the journey, to walk with you for a period of time, that's your spirit team using a 3D body. There's an assignment there. There's an appointment that 3D body has with you. Whether they know it or not, there's an appointment. Now, you may have an appointment with somebody and you may be the one that's being used to help the next person evolve. However it works, right? But the point of this 3D realm is to learn. Learn the things of this 3D realm and learn the things of the spirit realm. And close out these generational curses. Now remember, you're not healing anyone. You may go through your phase where you have to heal everyone and you want to help everyone and so forth and so on. That's just part of the journey. But when you finally awaken, you realize that you are the only person that you can heal. When you get to that level, the entities really start coming. They start coming in the spirit realm. They start coming in your dreams. They start coming in little sly ass comments on your posts, on these videos that you make and stuff like that, where you're trying to help other empaths. You can always see the narc when they're writing something. It's just real petty, you know, and their spirit has been irritated, and so they will come in those routes. But once you get to the point where you realize that it's a spiritual warfare, and that you're not the savior, you're not somebody that's here to save everybody, those entities really start coming for you. So you're going to need your spiritual team. Call on your spiritual team. Call on them before you go to sleep, and call on them when you wake up for your day. Just whenever you think about it, I call on my ancestors from the north, the south, the east, the west, above, below, within, without. And don't forget those who are for me and not against me. Because you do have ancestors that are against you, that do not want the generational curses to break, right? So that's just another way of doing the work. I hope that I have said something in this video that assists you on your journey and that can help you as you progress on your healing journey. That's all I have for you today here on my channel, Closing the Gap. We make a conscious effort to meet you where you're at on your healing and your spiritual journey. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Drop a comment. And if you're really feeling my vibe, don't forget to hit the bell notification so that you know the next time that I upload. We'll see you next time here on Closing the Gap. Y'all have a good day.